Now that we have the fuselage glued together, we will review and go over how the EDF hatch will fit over the modified EDF unit and also where the magnets will go in the canopy section as well as the EDF section. We will show the exhaust port assembly structure and show how the exhaust port is aligned. We will also review the propulsion unit and power setup. We will note we won't use 5S because it will overload the air runner, which is rated for 4S. We will also discuss the power to weight ratio using lightweight 50mm components. So we're done gluing the fuselage together. The next step was to snake the wires through the channel of the aircraft from where the EDF protrudes. There's actually a channel that allows you to snake your 3 wires from your motor to your ESC. So that's how it looks from the top side with the canopy off. The underside, or the side first, there's the cup, and here's the underside. The hatch has a lip, and this cup fits perfectly. I just gotta get the magnets done, but let's see how it's nice and flush. Okay, with magnets they'll hold just fine. And plus the elasticity of this lip here allows counterfeit pressure, so it'll fit more snug and secure. Anyways, I put a dab of foam safe representative here, and over here you can see I've put strips of foam to fully balance the exhaust port of the EDF, the exit port of the EDF. Okay. Remember, this is a 50mm. This is a 50mm. Angle the camera without compromising too much. Anyway, top right screen, you'll see this is a 10 blade. The fan's been balanced. So this is a 50mm 10 blade, 3100 kV, I think. This is 4100 kV, I forgot, I gotta look at my chart. And I'm gonna be running it on a 3300 or 4000 4S and see what that'll get us. I might even try 5S and see what the current draw is. That 5S 1800 milliamp hour pack will be physically equivalent to a 4S 2200 milliamp hour pack. So we'll see how it balances. The reason I chose the 50mm fan is to keep the weight down in the back, so that normally I would add a lot of weight in the nose, like a fishing weight. I would say almost 20 grams, because the modified versions of this plane, the EDF I use are the old DPS fans that Hobby King sells. And those are some heavy fans, right? And they have some pretty big inrunners in there. So I'm looking forward to the overall setup, lightweight setup. Looking for longer flight times, not necessarily performance, although I expect this to perform fairly well for a 50mm in a relatively large scale airframe. I'm talking relative. Okay, so the next step is we're gonna be, we could put the wings on, but before we do that, I'd like to share with you guys how I intend on there we go, how I intend on doing the magnets. And I have that all here. So you guys see there's two locations here and here. Okay, so I'm gonna move it so it's a little bit more clear. I'm trying to improve my filming skills, so bear with me, guys. I promise I'll work hard and get better at it over time if you just stay with me. Here and here are where the magnets will go, okay? And we'll need to do the same thing because the canopy goes on like this. All right. So if I flip the canopy over, you're gonna have mating magnets here. So I wouldn't recommend using the factory magnets just because that's my opinion only, okay? It's what I use. I'm not saying the stock configuration sucks or doesn't work, okay? What I'm saying is the setup I use require more bulkiness in the airframe, and therefore I need a stronger magnet to hold the canopy down. If you plan on flying this aircraft in the pre-assembled combo package, which is more or less a plug and play, but it doesn't come with an ESC. But it does come with the servos and the stock EDF. It's a 69 millimeter or 67 millimeter impeller. So classify that as almost close to 70 millimeter fan would fit in this airframe without too much modification. I've done it before. This is my fifth DFO 32 jet, version 1. I have two version 1s. This one here, the other one, a 6S setup. Yeah, but anyway, I'm gonna not film how I do the magnets. Basically, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a magnet, okay, take some glue, all right, use Gorilla Glue, use strong glue, foam tack works. I wouldn't use the rubber cement stuff that comes in the white tube in most of these kits. By the way, this kit doesn't come with any glue, but use something like Gorilla Glue, or if you guys like foam tack, use that. If you use hot glue, that could work, but these are really strong magnets, so I like to use Gorilla Glue. It's a little messier, but it holds better than anything else, hands down. Okay, dab some Gorilla Glue in there, take some masking tape, lightly taper over here. Okay, just cover it and let it heal overnight, or 24 hours, not overnight. Just give it 24 hours. Don't just leave it alone. Don't mess with it. Just take your time, right? And then you'll have a very nice bond to a rare earth solution here. Okay, I'm not going to go over that right now. I'm just going to proceed forward with the assembly. This is rather self-explanatory in terms of gluing magnets to foam. So, all right. The next step is, before we assemble the wings, let me put the airframe down back in the box. I'll get to that later. We need to prep the control surfaces. Okay, in this case, these are the wooden pieces. Trying to find the lens here, okay. These wooden pieces, these come with a kit. So as you can see, where you mount your control surface horn, it comes with this nice piece of wood, which is really safe the way you think about it, because wood holds on to the foam really well, and also it does give it some rigidity as to not puncture the foam in any adverse way. This one holds as a template, and we'll just mount our control horns on there mechanically. Okay, but I am going to be gluing this down using, of course, Gorilla Glue. And what we'll do is effectively make sure, guys, this is a very common mistakes I see a lot of you guys make, and that is mounting your control horn like this. Can you see that? You see how the servo horn is here? Okay, the servo horn is here, and your control horn is here. It's angled the wrong way. Okay, this is the angle of attack, the attack side, which has the holes. You want the holes, or I would say the attack side, facing the servo horn, like so. Like so. Okay? So it's pointing towards the servo horn. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off, and on the other side of the wing, we'll mount the plate here. We'll mount the plate here, okay? Just to hold on the other end. But I'm still gonna apply some glue here. So, okay, so right here I have installed a how do you say, a canopy lock mechanism is how I would put it. You can get these from Banggood, probably Hobby King. I got these from Amazon, but I've also bought these from Banggood in the past. And how it works is you glue this piece down, you cut a little insert in the foam so it fits this footprint. And this is like a 3mm rod actuated by a spring. So if you push on the handle, the spring will engage and disengage. And I have a brass tubing here, a 4mm brass tubing, and I basically Gorilla Glued it so it gives it its structural integrity. It won't snap off. I have retrofitted all of my Panthers this way because, as this being a belly lander, the magnets that hold this canopy on isn't strong enough, and sometimes on landing, when it hits the grass or the ground on landing, the canopy will pop off and it'll sling the battery out. But this battery is usually strapped in, so it should be fine. The danger is this can come off in flight, and is the reason why I put the brass tubing canopy lock mechanism here. So as the Gorilla Glue is drying, it's still wet. I want to take the opportunity to, before it takes form, tape it up. Okay, we're going to tape it up. just so, actually we'll do it this way. Just so the messiness doesn't escape. Get everywhere, I would say. Boy, I'll tell you guys, building and filming is quite a different thing than just building. A lot of things that you can just think to yourself, but right now you gotta, you know, for the purpose of making a video that's hopefully gonna be bringing you guys value, okay? I wanna just show you guys what I'm doing, how my planes are constructed. And I'm basically just gonna let this guy sit overnight. And being Gorilla Glue, you want it to give, you want this to heal. Give it a nice set before moving on to something else. So you guys see how that works? Okay. I'm gonna flip it over and show you guys what we have for the EDF Hatch magnet. Okay, I've done the same thing. You can probably see the Gorilla Glue. The tape is somewhat transparent. That's going to set overnight as well. So I'm not going to mess too much with that. And last but not least, the hatch part. Have these magnets engaged. We'll just set that aside. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna pretty much go ahead and glue the wings on and stick all the wiring through the channel of the wing into the fuselage and plug it into the receiver. And from there, that's pretty much it. So before securing the wings, I'm going to be applying a healthy dose of Gorilla Glue here and here. All right, the spar will go through here. Here's a servo connector, so no glue goes in there. So glue, no glue, no glue, glue, and glue around the flat surface to get a nice bond, okay? So that'll be our very next step.
So this takes us to the end of the video. We will be continuing the build part 11, starting with the wing installation to the fuselage. Next, stay tuned, like and subscribe, leave a comment below or ask a question if there are any, and I'll be sure to get back to you right away.